Good afternoon, Brindley.
Good morrow, Mr. Lane.
I say, Brindley, have you read the periodicals of late?
I have not read the news of these classic times in which we live.
There is much talk about around London about a certain Jack the Pusher.
Good with me. Oh, Daff is lively today, isn't he?
Daff!
Welcome, everyone, to a Classique edition of Peculiar Portions with your esteemed hosts, the Wizard Brindley and the Wizard Lane of Victorian time.
Indeed, my good fellow.
So before we go any further, let me pop out my monocle, give it a little polish.
A bit of fluff good on me, old chap.
Monocle fluff.
Monocle
And
fluff.
see what it is you have for us to look at today in the periodical, Simon.
Is that actually helping in any way?
Oh, it's making it blurrier.
I shall read it out for you, old chap. I shall read it out. I shall read it out for you, old chap. I shall read it out.
Okay.
I got it the wrong way around.
Shall I get rid of the green screen now? Do we need that?
What are you talking about, Brindley? What green screen?
I'll just move it out the way. Hang on. Tom told me I needed to move it out.
Truly he is a magician, for he can change the very locale in which we are located upon.
Oof.
With a mere wash of his hand. Fuck me! Where are we now?
Oh!
It appears that we have found ourselves upon YouTube, old chap.
Not again!
Oh, bollocks!
Oh, the fastest surgeon of the 19th century?
Yes, let's read about this. He's a fine chap.
He'll whip your appendix out in just 10 seconds flat. You wouldn't even notice he was there. He looks very noble. Look at him.
Look at his mutton chops. Oh, they're beautiful.
Before anaesthesia, speed was essential to minimising pain and improving on survival. Yeah.
The longer pain goes on, the more likely the person is to just die of pain.
I mean,
not even like blood loss or anything, just the trauma.
If you went into hospital now, they wouldn't be like, okay, we're going to set a stopwatch and going to see if we can do this as fast as possible. And you'd be like,
I've got a round of golf to go to. Come on, chop chop. Actually, chop chop.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, blah, 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 blah.
So they timed one of his procedures.
Time me, gentlemen, he calls the gathered spectators. Time me!
Time me! Time me! Boy, Daff, give me my saw.
Did they not have like machine-made saws? Like saws to like cut through, like buzz...
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Would that have been better? Using a chain? It would have been quicker.
It would have been quicker. If you're only after speed...
Time me, gentlemen. That's it.
Exactly.
1.5 seconds, sir. Your Highness. But I didn't have
A
them.
record that wasn't beaten until the lightsaber was invented.
So, chopped a guy leg off, sawing through not just, the skin and the muscle, but getting all the way through the bone, and then through the muscle, out the other end. 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes?
2.5 minutes, cut a guy's leg
Doesn't
off.
feel very quick.
Oh, well, you're using a hand saw. It's just you against flesh.
Oh,
There's a guy lying there going, ah! being held down by your friends.
Oh, and they're like, see if I can beat the time on this other leg.
Okay, now you may joke about that, Lewis, but there was a story that may or not be true, right? So one time he was amputating a man's leg, got so carried away, he accidentally cut off his testicles.
What?
So that's like a 2 for 1, 3 for 1.
I suppose. Did he want them?
Did who want what?
Did the guy still need them?
Did the guy who's being operated on still want his testicles?
Yeah, was he?
Yes, I
Okay,
imagine.
right.
But the doctor probably also wanted them. That's why he did it.
Right. What did he...
Buy those testicles and make a nice coin purse.
I can see, imagine if the guy had very long and danglies and it was a chainsaw and it was a quick thing,
Yeah.
But like...
I mean, he was trying to do it in as quickly as possible, trying to do it in like 2 minutes.
Was he cutting quite high up the leg?
He must have been. I mean, if he was doing below the knee and he's cutting a guy's balls off, how does that work?
It could have been a very hot day.
So, this guy performed supposedly the first surgery that had a 300% mortality rate.
Holy shit.
So 300% mortality rate means 3 people died during it. He was operating on one person. He managed to kill 3.
That is an unbelievable disaster.
So he was sawing through a leg.
He slipped.
His assistant was holding down the guy, right? He was operating on. He cut off his assistant's fingers.
Oh, shit.
Which led to an infection. And apparently, when he was switching between like one saw and like a knife, he accidentally slashed one of his other assistants. No, he slashed a spectator. He slashed at a spectator. How close were the spectators?
Well, they probably paid to be that close. You know,
Oh, they
it's like
probably
front
did.
row seats at the basketball.
So the assistant died of the infection. The spectator he stabbed died of shock. The guy he was operating on also died. Good job. Well done. Only took 3 minutes. Good job.
He could have gone a step further though, and hung himself afterwards.
Oh my
Out
god.
of guilt.
No, he went on to do many, many more operations.
Surgeries.
Yeah. Like
What a legend.
hundreds a day.
What a horrible time to be alive. I'm so glad that we don't live in these times.
I think the problem was they were only just learning how things worked.
Right.
Like, even
Humans
though...
are full of gristle and fluids and viscous humours, and when they contact together, the foul elements can cause a poisonous vigour to set in the deep veins.
Indeed, Lewis, and we've only just learned that that's true. Back then, they thought it was demons. It's 1904 now. The World's Fair has been held in the United States of the Americans.
The population of the world is abuzz with news of startling technological revelations, industrial spectacle, scientific marvels, magical things, only now becoming real. We live in the future.
You really are getting into the magician thing.
I think it's the cloak.
outfit.
I think it's the cloak.
The cloak. So, not just the World's Fair in St. Louis, but there was also the St. Louis? Louis?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. St. Louis?
What can I say? God, there's a lot of good Olympic stories. I want to hear this one though.
Okay, so this is a weird one. It was about the marathon that took place. So
Right.
it's in where is it? So Missouri during the summer
Thanks, Google.
it gets very warm.
Right, didn't know that.
Very warm. So it was in the 90s. This was the afternoon as well. And this course it wasn't 26-mile marathon, it was just under 25. But still quite a long way to run in 90-degree plus heat. And also there were big hills. There were big hills across the course.
Right.
And
So
it was through like arid, incredibly dusty land. I mean, look at this guy. This guy. Look how he's dressed.
I mean, he's what a dapper gentleman.
So, how far is this in? The first fatality almost occurred. So, a Californian collapsed at the side of the road, was hospitalized due to hemorrhaging. The dust from the dusty fucking road got into his lungs, coated his lungs.
Did he get trampled or something? What? So
It was just dust. Literally just dust. He wasn't attacked by a horse. He didn't fall down a cliff.
oh, he didn't die. He was
No,
okay.
he almost died.
he died.
They gave him
That's-
about an hour longer and he would have bled to death.
Wow. So what? 32 people started, and within like the first few miles, he was already got under to the dust.
One already out. There was another guy that just started vomiting.
John Lorden gave up.
He just started puking, so he had to pull up.
A man from South Africa, Len Tao, was chased a mile off course by wild dogs. Daff! I told you there was going to be stuff like this.
So what happens when you don't feed him? I told you to feed him, Lewis.
Felix Carvajal trotted along in his cumbersome shoes and billowing shirt, making good time, even though he paused to chat with spectators. A bit later on, he stopped at an orchard, snacked on some apples, which turned out to be rotten.
Yeah.
He got stomach cramps
Yeah.
and had to take a nap. Sam Meller, now in the lead, also experienced severe cramping. He went into the apples as well.
So I think there was a theory that was to do with the water they were drinking. They stopped to drink water, and then mysteriously, a few miles down the road, everyone starts getting cramps.
Right. I like this though. It's equal. You know, everyone has to drink.
A level playing field.
Yeah. It's like a little bit more challenge. This is what the Olympics needs. A bit of light poisoning. 9 miles in, the leader, Laws, hitched a ride in one of the accompanying cars, waving at spectators and fellow riders. See, this isn't
So you just
allowed.
started cheating.
That's not cool.
Just started cheating. You just hitched a ride.
And that's only like less than halfway in.
See you later, suckers!
Hicks, one of the early American favourites, came under the care of a two-man support crew, begged them for a drink, but they refused, instead sponging out his mouth with warm distilled water.
So I think that's because of all the dust and stuff. So they were getting rid of the dust.
But they said, don't drink, it'll slow you down. You want to keep the lightweight.
I don't understand. I think maybe it's because distilled water was safe. They were getting rid of all the dust in his mouth. They weren't giving him drinking water because it wasn't really drinking water. It was making everyone fucking sick.
Right. Well, you can't live off only distilled water. We've mentioned that before.
Really? Electrolytes?
Yeah, it'll kill you.
It'll kill you.
7 miles from the finish, Hicks's handlers fed him with a concoction of strychnine, which is definitely poison, and egg whites. The first recorded use of drug use.
Yeah.
Strychnine in small doses was actually a stimulant.
Yeah, everyone thinks strychnine, is it the bitter almonds one? I don't know, but it fucking kills you. Agatha Christie poison, Hercule Poirot. I think this is strychnine.
The team also carried a flask of French brandy, but I assume wisely decided to not use it until they could gauge the runner's condition. Can you imagine, he's had the strychnine. So, give me some more strychnine. No.
You've had enough, mate.
Here's a glass of brandy. 5 miles to go.
I like the idea he's drinking it out of a tumbler and he's got a cherry in it as well.
What the fuck were Victorian medical kits? What was in them? Poison, brandy, and sponges with distilled water?
I think that was literally it. I think you named everything.
And a fucking
that was in there.
saw.
In case things go really bad, we got the saw.
Laws, after recovering from his stomach cramps, emerged from an 11-mile ride on the ultimate. So he's done at least half of the marathon in the car.
Oh, not quite. It's not quite half. It's almost.
One of Hicks's handlers saw him and ordered him off the course, but Laws kept running and finished. The crowd roared and began chanting an American one.
An American one! An American one! An American one! What a lame-ass chant.
A chant that has kept through till today.
It's much better than USA! USA!
It's no different.
American one!
An American one.
Didn't they sing that when, Bin Laden got shot in the eye?
Alice Roosevelt, the 20-year-old daughter of Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy, the bull moose. Remember Teddy? Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy, invade fucking Spain and take Mexico. They don't use it.
The timing of this is beautiful. I love this.
She placed a wreath around his head and was just about to lower the gold medal onto his neck.
Almost.
When someone called an indignant halt to the proceedings with a charge that Laws was an imposter.
Dun dun dun!
The cheers turned into boos. Laws smiled and claimed that he had never intended to accept the honour.
Just a prank, bro.
He only finished for a joke.
Yeah, literally.
But he got all the way up the podium with the president's daughter about to give him the medal. It's about to touch his skin.
He rode in a car for 11 miles. He won it. And then he's like, oh, it's just a joke, just a lol.
Oh my God. Hicks, now, the guy with strychnine coursing through his blood, had grown ashen and limp. Break out the brandy. When he heard that Laws has been disqualified, though, he perked up. His trainers gave him another dose of strychnine and egg whites, but this time used the brandy.
Hey! They're like, this is it. This is the time. Get it down, you lad.
Over the last 2 miles of the road, Hicks was running mechanically like a well-oiled piece of machinery.
Come on, Hicks!
His arms appeared as if weights were well tied down. He could scarcely lift his legs and his knees were stiff. He's running like a robot, man.
Yeah.
Did they replace him with one of those robots, those Victorian clanky robots?
Imposter, sir! Oh my
Disqualified!
God. Look, he's a robot, and they tear his face off, and it's all like.
It was only a prank, bro. His trainers carried him over the line.
Oh, now that's where you're like, he got carried over the line.
Holding him aloft while his feet moved back and forth, and he was declared the winner.
Fucking hell. What isn't it crazy?
4 doctors and another hour later, he finally felt well enough to leave the grounds. He had lost 8 pounds and declared, so do you want to do it?
Never in my life has I run such a tough course. A touch course. It does literally say touch course.
Touch course.
Never in my life has I run such a touch course. The terrific hills. The terrific. They're more like inspiring terror.
Maybe this
Terrific.
meant differently then, yeah. What a story.
That was it.
What a story.
What a hero! What a fucking hero!
I remember there was another story. There was an Olympian, a Japanese Olympian,
Yes.
who never finished 100 years ago in Stockholm, and he never finished the marathon, okay?
Okay.
But the Swedish people found out this, and they got in contact with him, and they brought him back to Sweden to finish the Olympic marathon that he never finished. So he has the record longest marathon time
But why?
of 54 years.
Why did they? And also,
Read the article.
how much did he have left to run? Because if he's 54 years older,
Yeah, but sometimes men in their 70s are doing marathons.
oh yeah, like no, let's not mention him. How's about that then?
He was a runner, and there was a belief that at the time perspiration made runners tired, you see. So he didn't drink water and wasn't very sweaty. So they're like, "You're the least sweaty man! Off you go to the marathon!" And so he went.
That's astonishing.
He went to Sweden and he turned up, and I don't think he even had any like shoes.
Oh
I
my
think he
God.
didn't have like any idea. He'd never left Japan
Didn't have any
before.
shorts. Didn't have any clothes at all.
He was fully nude.
Fully
No one
nude.
met him. He didn't know anyone there. No one spoke any Japanese. He didn't speak any Swedish or anything like this. But he collapsed from overheating, extreme overheating at 27 kilometers. Good effort.
So why did they invite him back? What the fuck is going on? Okay, so there was only 86 people.
So he was so dispirited by his failure that he never.
Oh,
he was
68.
he was too guilty. He never even filled in the proper paperwork, and
Oh.
he just he disappeared,
Oh no.
and he found his way home somehow, but.
he ran. Obviously.
Back in 1904, I don't know how you get from fucking Japan to Sweden. Jesus.
Probably took him 27 years to get home, to run home. And then there was like a phone call and it said, "You gotta come back and finish the marathon." He runs back. And then in 1967,
When he was 75 years old,
75!
they wanted him to come back and finish off because he'd become known as the missing marathoner, the man who had vanished without a trace in 1912.
Oh my God.
And he completed it in 54 years.
And he was like
He said,
totally up for this.
"It was a long trip. Along the way, I got married, had 6 children and 10 grandchildren." What a fucking ride,
I
hey?
can't believe it. What the hell?
That's a good story.
What a journey.
All right.
Thank you for enlightening me.
You're welcome. We've got loads more Peculiar Portions Classique, so be good to one another and eat your
Eat your greens.
tripe and onions.
Yes.